Mothra. 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 What can I say about Mothra? Well, I've done it before. I've done the larva stage and the butterfly thing stage. But, I know I've said things about Mothra, but I gotta say, every time Mothra's in a movie, Godzilla's always the bad guy. Except for a couple times when he was a larva, but still, Mothra the butterfly is always in a movie, Godzilla's always the bad guy, and thus he always has to be the loser. That is something I cannot stand. So, what did Toho do? Let's get a movie for Mothra, but without Godzilla. That's cool. So, yeah, the big heads at Toho were like, you know, Mothra always seems to kill our main character off, so why don't we give it its own movie so Godzilla can live in peace? And so the audience was like, can't stay awake. Or at least me anyway. Anyway, this little number here is Rainbow Mothra, and it's from, I believe, Rebirth of Mothra 3. The reason I'm not sure about that is because I never watched it. I've only seen Rebirth of Mothra 2, which, okay, I'm not being judgmental here, but, okay, yeah, I am. But, if Rebirth of Mothra 2 was anything like 1 and 3, then you can just forget about watching those three, because they are not that good. Anyway, now, does that mean that since I don't really like Mothra, I'm going to be prejudiced? No, not really. But, what do I think of this guy? As just a representation of a character from a movie. Well, let's take a look, eh? I'm gonna regret this. So, let's start off, as always, with the paint job. Well, let's take a look at the paint. As you know, it's Rainbow Mothra, so naturally it'll have a lot of colors. Not necessarily the colors of the rainbow, like black and turquoise and white, but, you know, it's got orange and blue and purple and yellow, and got nice little eye things there, which, you know, is most Mothras do. And you got black stripes on the abdomen here, and you got little funny little black seed marks on the thorax and on the head. And on the eyes here, they are a nice cerulean blue, and basically white everywhere else. I must say that this is a nice feathery white, pure looking white color, which is, I guess, what they were trying to go for. From what I can tell from pictures of the Rainbow Mothra in the movie, they didn't really capture it. But with the figure, amazingly, they actually did. I gotta give them a thumbs up on that, because it actually is indicative of pure whiteness, which, as I get what... Anyway, so yeah, a little backstory here. Mothra Leo transformed or something into Rainbow Mothra, I guess to defeat some sort of version of Ghidorah. Now that is the only reason I would watch Mothra movies, is because it does in fact have several Ghidorah incarnations in it, and that's just totally awesome. But I couldn't get past the acting, and I couldn't get past the characters, and of course I can't get past Mothra. It's bad enough when it's stealing the show from Godzilla, but a whole darn movie about it? No thank you. Now I'm probably going to get bad feedback on this, but I just don't like Mothra, and that's all there is to say about that. Now that doesn't mean I can't enjoy good figures. And yeah, so let's take a look at the detail. Okay, so detail, zooming in here. You got these nice wings here, which are somewhat, if you can tell, somewhat striated and very scaly, feathery looking. You got this nice downy fur here on the wings, on the inside of the wings here. Very cool looking. And it almost doesn't even look like an insect anymore, but more like a dove from the sky. Anyway, so, and then you got the eyes here. And they're very nice as well, because they're cool. And then on the back, you got more fur and a nice little point at the end. So, that is the detail, and it's okay. Now, as far as articulation goes, I gotta say, well, you know, it's a butterfly, and it's not gonna do a whole lot of moving around. as butterflies are wont to do, just not a whole lot of movement. It's not like you're going to put it, okay, look, it's a moth. You're not going to put it in an action pose, so just face it. It won't do a lot of articulation. So if you're a guy that must have completely crazily articulated action figurines, then this is not the guy for you. But if you are into more of the artsy side of it all, then this is definitely the thing for you. But, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of expression here. And boy, when I say expressive, I mean expressive. I mean, you can turn his head and its arms as well. So you can put all kinds of crazy poses. Like having a cold. I'm insane! Excuse me? Nobody likes me. So yeah, you get the idea. Head articulation and these front two legs are articulated as well. Now I don't know if the wings were supposed to move, but they kind of can. Just wiggle them around a little. By the way, this is very nice rubber here. It's very feely, very touchy, very nice. Just fun to hold, really. It's not so much that it's like, you know, a dollar store butterfly toy thing, but it's still very nice feel to it. Now, as far as articulation goes, I mean, let me rephrase that. As far as size comparison goes, well, as you know, this Mothra was not in the same movie as Godzilla. So thus, it doesn't really matter if they're in scale or not. Of course, I guess you could argue that it does, seeing as how Mothra showed up in that one Heisei movie of Godzilla fighting Mothra, which was basically a rehash of the old one. But anyhow, so what exactly do you compare it with? Well, Bandai did make a Cretaceous Gira, and I'll get around to reviewing him soon. But in the meantime, I do have one little fellow that you may remember to compare him with, and that is none other than the big old ugly crab himself, Destroya. Boy, nothing like two characters I completely disdain in one place. It must be my birthday or something. But yeah, as you can see, Mothra is, well, his wingspan is about as long as Destroya is from tail to toe. So you can see right there. And yeah, Mothra can also ride on Destroya's back, which, I mean, okay, that's to give Destroya a bit of extra help off the ground, since there's no way these wings are carrying this big fat lug off the ground. Anyway, so yeah, there's Rainbow Mothra. So in recap, what do I think? Well, I must say, like I said, I'm not a huge Mothra fan, but I know some people are. So, yeah, this is definitely, of the Mothras out there that are not crazily expensive, this is definitely one of the ones to get. It's very pretty, and it looks nice, and it's one of the more colorful Mothras out there. Now, personally, me, I don't really care so much for all the color diversity. Not to be gay, but they do kind of clash. I mean, you got yellow and purple and black and orange and blue and white and turquoise. Ugh. Now, some of those together, just by themselves, might be cool, but not all of them all at once. That's just not the way you do it. So anyway, but that's for another time. You can probably pick up this particular Mothra version for about $35, I'd say. Look at Clawmark Toys, that's where I got this one. You'd probably like to get it too. Is it a must-have? Well, it's hard to say. It's like this particular version is getting a little bit harder to find, but it's been redone. This is actually a second release. It's been done a couple other times too, I believe. But Bandai Creation made one too. So if you just want a representation of the guy, then yeah, I'd probably go with that one. But anyway, I would say go for this guy if you really like Mothra. And if you don't really care about Mothra or the Mothra movie trilogies or any of those, if you're a Godzilla fan like me, then I would just skip it. But anyway, I don't know, it's a nice Mothra to have to beat up. Anyway, and all you Mothra fans out there, I'm sorry if I was a little harsh on your favorite bug. Sorry about that. Anyway, Godzilla's better. So, I'm Creature Hunt Guy. This is Rainbow Mothra, coming to you from Monster Island, and I'll see you later. Godzilla's better!